welcome to another A Drummer's Guide 2. Today I want to tackle a strange subject, I suppose. Maybe it's not strange, I don't know. Anyway, it's about success, and it's what it means to me, what my journey has been like, continues to be like, and looking at other people's successes basically, and how that might not be the best thing for anyone, really, anyone's mental state. So the first thing I want to talk about is determining what success is to you. I didn't really realise how important this was growing up. Well, I did, because it's good to have a goal and it's always good to have something to focus on. So when I was growing up, my idea of success was a very simple one. It was, if I can earn a living playing the drums, then that's me, I'm happy. And to an extent, that is completely true. It was quite a broad statement to sort of grow up with and to work towards. But hey, it's got me where I am, so I can't really say much about that. That's a good thing. So yeah, like I say, to me, it was just if I can earn a living playing drums, and it didn't matter what that was. So that could be covers bands, that could be touring. Ideally, when I was younger, that was it. It was like, I want to be on tour. But I knew that as long as I was earning my main living playing drums, I was set. So it could have been recording, it could be playing with original artists in smaller venues, it could be any number of things. The only thing that I tried and didn't really enjoy and thought I was not very good at the time was teaching. So I did try that for a while, and I didn't feel I had the capabilities at the time. Bit better now, I reckon, but you know, you guys could be the judge of that. I don't really know. When I've gotten older, obviously I've sort of played, I've done a fair amount of touring, I do make a living from the drums, so once I got to that success point sort of thing of going, oh, I'm actually doing this, it was like, okay, well now I need to refine it, I guess, because yes, I'm earning a living, but as with anything, there's always parts of it that you go, I love that, I love that, I love that. I don't like that bit of it so much. And if I didn't have to do that anymore, I wouldn't be too sad. So it was all about refinement, and success became something different. And that change really took place, I'd say, in around 2015. And so I do this constantly. I sit down with myself and I just ask myself the two questions. Why am I doing this? So that's always behind most things that I do. There's always a why behind it. Like doing these videos. Why am I doing these videos? Because I want to help people, because I want to help the 11-year-old version of me that was learning and didn't know the questions to ask, and certainly didn't know the answers, didn't know any drummers at the time to ask these questions to, so just getting the information out there. The other question that I always ask myself is, what is it about this that I like, and is there anything that I don't like that maybe I could get rid of, eliminate it, or maybe I could do it in a better way so it's less stressful if it's stressful, or it's less boring if it's boring. Yeah, so those are always the questions that I ask myself, and I find that that's the best route to get into success. I say success because it's such a fluid thing, and this is what I will go into now. So the other thing I want to talk about is the idea of success, especially from an outside point of view, because I know me growing up, when I would see drummers, famous drummers, I guess they are because people would know them, I would be like, oh, they're so successful, I want to be like them, they're so successful. And I thought, I had in my head, because of various things, that you get one gig and that's it, you're set. You will never need to worry about being a professional ever again. You are officially professional, you're earning a living, and that's your life for the rest of your life. That is not how it is, like, at all. So the reason, I'll give you some backstory why I think this. I'll try and do this quickly, I don't want to make this too long, but as most of you know, growing up, I grew up with Charisse Osei, who is also a drummer. She plays with Simple Minds at the moment. Now, when we were 17, she got into a band called The Faders. And what happened was, she got into The Faders, and they were doing relatively well. I mean, incredibly well in our world. She was living the dream in our eyes. And I was so incredibly proud of her. And it was just, when I tell you I was like her #1 sport, I can't even tell you, like, it was just, I was so proud of her. I was equally a little bit jealous, of course, and me and Charisse have spoken about this, especially at the time, and she, you know, of course, it's going to happen. She was doing exactly the thing that I wanted to do. And then she went on to play with Mika, and still, by this point, she would have been, we both would have been about 20, and maybe she was 19 actually when she joined Mika. And yeah, I was just like, I'm still not doing it. I'm still not successful. I'm still not with one band, which is how she did it. And, you know, that was all engulfing. She was out on the road the whole time. And I was just like, oh my gosh, she's doing it. And to me, on the outside, even though we're best friends and I knew the ins and outs and it wasn't all smooth and whatever, I just saw success. And I was like, I am not even on the bottom rung in my head. I need to work harder. I need to be doing more. I need to be playing with more people, and that's what I did. Then 2008 came, and I got a call from a band called The Hours. And I ended up joining that band, and it was an incredibly interesting band. The music was really cool. The setup was interesting. It was a big band, 2 drummers. We had some interesting people involved. We did some really cool gigs. And I was like, to me, I was like, that's it. I've made it. Yes. And it was like, okay, now my journey is going to be the same as Charisse's. Now I'm constantly going to be in work and it's all going to be like that. But that's not what happened. So I was in The Hours for the whole of 2008, and the beginning of 2009 I decided to leave. And then I had nothing. For the rest of 2009, zilch. So I was going back doing covers gigs, not that there's anything wrong with that, and I love my covers gigs, I still do. I was finding new artists to work with. I was scrabbling around trying to make a living again. And that really shocked me, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I thought that it was just once you're done, you're done. Stick a fork in me, I'm done. But it wasn't like that. And then in 2010, that's when I got involved with Bryan Ferry, so that was great, and all of a sudden things were good again. And then 2011 was tricky, again, went on tour, super happy, saw parts of the world I'd never seen. I was like, this is great, this is great. And then 2012, Cher Lloyd, that was great. And then 2013, nothing. And it was just like, what? I thought I was doing it. I thought it was happening again. And that's how it happens. You know, you might get something and it's great and everything's amazing, and then there's no work. And then you get something and then everything's amazing and then there's no work. And it's just like, people see it from the outside, I think, as like, oh, they're successful, they're constantly on tour, they're fine, but you don't see all this. I mean, it might seem like it's going like that, but there's all this in between where, okay, yes, no matter how long you're playing and who you're playing with, you're always going to be gaining, you know, ability, following, if it's something on social media, or, you know, and you put out there what you want to put out there. So, but what I'm saying is that it's not a one quick fix thing, and you're always going to need to be pushing and working and making yourself better and playing with more people and just I mean, I've always been obsessed with the drums, so I am literally thinking about the drums and things related to the drums and my career 24/7. When I say that, I can't stress to you. And even when I want to have a break, sometimes my brain doesn't let me, so it's just like, okay, but it's great because I know I've found ways now that I can put in energy to things like these videos that will actually affect people and will help people. So I found a good way of dealing with that. It used to really stress me out when I was younger and I felt out of control, but I feel a lot more in control now. Not all the time, definitely not all the time, but I have my ways of dealing with it. So touching on the social media thing, the third and final thing that I wanted to talk about is about comparing yourself to others. Again, guilty for a long time. And like I say, I was doing it with Charisse. I was comparing myself to Charisse, going, she's doing all this, she's travelling the world, she's touring. I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing it. Of course I was doing stuff. I was getting better. I was meeting so many new people. I was I was building my foundations, and I consider myself to have very strong foundations, which means that all this other stuff that happens, I can deal with quite a lot of stuff because I've done that foundational work. But I was comparing myself to Charisse, and I was feeling inferior, and that mentally took a strain on me, definitely, and it made me hold myself back. nothing to do with her. It was all my sort of like problem. And I mean, we got through it, absolutely. But even going to see my friends play drums, other friends as well, and the way that they played, their whole style, like I have a few friends that are very into the sort of gospel style of playing. I would watch them and I would be like, they're amazing, I want to play like that. But it's not in my DNA, it's not in my, that's not my upbringing, it's just not how I play. I could play that, I suppose, if I really just like worked super hard at it, but you know, I'm me and I want to play like me, so what can I do? But I used to get major shiny object syndrome. I would watch them and be like, oh my god, they're so amazing, I'm so rubbish because I can't play like that. Awful, what an awful way to think about yourself. So I would say try not to compare yourself to other drummers. It's especially hard now with like social media and stuff, but I mean, I'm sure you've heard this before, but if you haven't, then I hope that this resonates with you, because when I read this for the first time, I was like, of course it is. Anyone's social media, myself included, I absolutely include myself in that, is someone's highlight reel. It's not their everyday life. You don't see all the back stuff that's going on to, you know, like for instance, make these videos happen. And by the way, must make a point, there's a reason that I come on here looking quite dishevelled, and you know, I mean, I don't wear makeup at the best of times. Unless I'm actually on stage, I don't really wear makeup. But I wanted to make a point that I'm human, I'm real, I'm not trying to be woo. I'm like, okay, here's the good things, here's some bad things, and here's life, and let's get on with it, let's do it. So yeah, I think it's important to remember that social media is about highlighting, you know, your great moments, and there's nothing wrong with that as long as you have that in mind. So you might see some drummer or musician, whatever, playing like just playing incredibly, but you don't know for sure. I mean, hey, whatever, but you don't know if that person has had loads of treatment done to the sound that they're creating. You don't know what's been edited. You don't know, you just don't know what's gone in, like the hours that have gone into that, say, 1-minute clip on Instagram or 15-second Instagram story. If you think about, you don't know, maybe 12 hours of work has gone into making that person look good, making them sound good, making them sound perfect. You know, you just don't know. So you've got to just take it with a pinch of salt and go, take it for what it is. That's amazing. And then just get on with you. You've got to focus on what your goals are, what you feel success is, what that means to you. And don't worry about looking at what other people are doing around you. Oh, one more quick example of that is, obviously I opened my studio a couple of years ago. Terrifying, because my knowledge of studio, how it works, you know, microphones, preamps, all this stuff, it was overwhelming. I can't tell you, like, I had minimal knowledge about recording, how it worked and how to get a good sound and all that sort of stuff. But I've been working through it and I've been learning loads. And I've got to a point where I feel a really nice sound in my room. I have many lovely clients that tell me that they like what I'm doing, which is great. But what comes with that is that I've opened myself up to a world of recording, people that record a lot. And then they talk to me about, you know, this microphone, this preamp, you should be doing this, you should be doing that, why don't you have this, why don't you, and it just makes me feel like, oh my god, I'm a charlatan, I'm a fake, this is terrible. But then I have to remember that, wait, I'm not doing this for you guys, I'm doing it for the artists that I work with. And they're coming back to me and saying they're really happy, and until people start saying, actually, nah, then I'm cool. And I'll keep refining, I'll keep making things better, but to my own ear, and at my own pace, and the way that I feel I need to make sure that people are happy. And that's my success. And other audiophiles, or whatever you call them, might look down on that. That's fine. I'm just a drummer. It's cool. But anyway, I just wanted to share this with you, and I hope it helps. And yeah, find what success means to you, aim for it, don't worry about what everyone else is doing, and yeah, I hope this has helped you. If you have any questions at all, go to drummersguide2.com and come ask me a question. I'd love to answer it on a video for you. I hope you're having an awesome day, and I'll see you next week for another subject. Alright, see you guys later.